Hello and welcome to a new episode of Thomas Talks. Today I am here with Tara Knott from Tara Knott Stylists. Be certain person in person. Give me the real name.
Tara Knott Style Events.
There we go. And she's going to show us how to set a table in for a sharing menu. Let's go. So we've just whipped together this, quite astonishingly beautiful table, and Tara's going to talk us through the do's and don'ts, really. So let's start with the do's, maybe.
Okay, so the great thing about a sharing board is that it brings conversation and good food people together. So you want to make sure that everything is accessible and that you haven't got lots of things that are in the way. So if we think kind of high level flowers that could easily get knocked over, or candles where you're reaching over and actually somebody could burn themselves, which we definitely don't want.
Even, and here's just one point of view, even if it was very, very tall. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Even if it was very, very tall.
Because that would still keep your view in the centre, but not.
It would, but what will happen is as people go to share, it's either could be knocked over, you don't want water all over the food, or somebody will just move it, and if they move it, you've paid all this money for these beautiful florals. So I would say if you were going to do that, to have something hanging above, so some kind of floral hanging.
Hanging makes sense. Teepees are great for that. Structures in a garden.
Work great for that. It's also thinking about what you're putting it onto. So if it's in a teepee and you've got the wooden exposed tables like we've got today, which is great, you don't necessarily need to cloth it. It's nice to have something through the middle. I would avoid putting any sort of greenery or eucalyptus or anything through the centre because it's just going to get lost.
And the food is almost the star of the show here.
Well, it is, and it gives a wow factor. Absolutely, and that's why we've gone for an acrylic menu and table number, because the colour shows through and it just looks great, and you've got these pops of colour from the food, which works. What we did a wedding a few weeks ago, and they had sharing boards, and we served port, so in decanters, and that just had a really nice touch. Nice. If you're going to have candles, put them into something so they're fairly high and it's easy to see that you're not going to knock them over or burn yourself. And then just some levels of height, so like here where we've got the breadsticks or Grissini. But it's just a really nice concept and a really nice way of sharing food, and it also gives it a really relaxed vibe. And
in terms of obviously we've gone for quite a rustic because we've got the wooden table to begin with, so we've used like vintage plates and boards and stuff. If you're going for a more chic, plain, like I call it the white Ibiza look, I'm sure that's not right in Stylist land, but that's what I'm going to call it. What sort of crockery and stuff would you go for in that instance? I
would go for light linen. I probably wouldn't have anything through the middle, and then in terms of your boards, to use either a white kind of almost like a ceramic, that would work really well. Well, a regular plate, but you can get some that, I do have one I could show you. They're just sort of a bit thicker and they just look a bit classy.
What about slates? Would that work?
Slates can work, but I would
just tell me no, it's okay.
I don't want to offend you. I think slates definitely work for some things, but I don't think for this. I think when
they're very popular, that's why I asked. People seem to love eating off a slate.
Right, okay.
I think they're for canapes only, but people like their things. Indeed.
I think for the grazing board concept, it's really the wood and sort of natural materials that work.
And if people are insistent on lots of flowers, because we've just got succulents here today, so what would you recommend the flowers go into for them?
Definitely into a container, into some kind of vase. I would probably have them no higher than this, so it's like bud vase shape, so probably your bud vase is slightly higher. You don't really want to go much higher than that. Also, when you think about it, when the flowers are in a vase, you've also got the width of it, not just the height of it, so that's something to consider. And you don't want anything that looks like it could be food that somebody's going to just reach for or grab or pull out. Certainly if you're going for flowers, then I would go for something like maybe just a single flower into a vase. So I would just say that it's the relaxed vibe, and lots of the outdoor weddings, people don't want the formality of the sit-down 3-course meal, and this is just such a good alternative because it has the wow factor, it looks great. And you can kind of mix it up, and there's something for everybody. So as you're picking, you're finding something else. And it also is a bit of an icebreaker. So if people don't know each other around the table, actually it's a good way for them to start a bit of conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what people want. That's why they come to me and ask for sharing, is because they want something that'll break the table up. And can you pass me that awesome coleslaw or that delicious salad you made there, Thomas? Can you pass me some more? I need more of it.
What I would say is that what you can do is kind of go to town a little bit more with your place setting.
Okay.
So we've got acrylic and coloured linen here today, which looks lovely, and then just some dried flowers. But if this is your focal point, the food is your focal point, and you don't want to deter too much from that, but you can make this look quite stunning.
It can be organised as well. We don't do this, but we should offer it actually. But I'm going to offer it from right now. Is that the food can actually be on the table, and then people come sit, because a battle for us is that people go crazy, and then you've got to. So this table's now full of humans, plus Dave's pints, and and everyone else's glasses that they brought from everywhere else. We've then got to shufty around. Which is half the fun, but as well it can be tricky if it's hot especially.
Definitely.
And if it's different shaped boards, it can be tricky. So it might even be a suggestion that if you want a little bit more, for example, we have the food on the table at the same time, working together with the stylist, and hey presto, it looks this good.
Absolutely, and we always ask what the catering is, because if it is sharing boards or something, we know we've got to make room for that.
I think it's important that we stick together.
Stick together, yeah. Also, when you're having the sharing boards, there's other activity that can be happening, so it doesn't stop. For your meal, you don't have to all of a sudden stop. So the musician can be playing, you can be having speeches, having a glass of port.
Absolutely.
And you don't feel like you're on anybody's time.
No, it's far more relaxed.
Yeah.
Grazing, just take as much as you like, and then when they tell it's finished, it's finished. You can have in this scenario, you could have just this as your wedding breakfast, then have a brownie bar, a patisserie boutique, or ice cream or dessert canapes. So this is all you're sitting down for, and then so an hour and a half, you're back up dancing, ready to throw some shapes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you for coming along, Tara. It's been very good. I hope you enjoy it, and maybe we'll see you again sometime.
I hope so.